Hello again, and thanks for watching. Last week I mentioned there was a special episode coming up. This week I'm excited to tell you that this Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. at 9motoring.com we'll be airing this garage with this current project live. To bring everybody up to speed, last week we were working on this rear portion of the unibody, what's otherwise known as the hellhole, and I mentioned we were still waiting on our outer rocker. Good news is the outer rocker has come, and I've started drilling out all the spot welds to mount. Next we need to mimic this portion of the unibody that's also rotted. So to do that, we welded in a plate on the back side of the rocker. Now before we go ahead and start mounting this outer rocker and getting prepped for welding, there's a key measurement that needs to be taken from pillar to pillar on the car. That key measurement is 25 1/8. So as you're looking at the tape measure here, I hold my tape at 10 inches for accuracy. And on the other side it should read 35 1/8. 35 1/8, and we're ready to mount. Anything that I mount, I like to use self-tapping screws. But with that being said, we still need to take into consideration the level of the car and the level of the outer rocker. If they match, we check our measurement, and we're ready to weld. Again, for my preference, I just like to use a TIG welder so that I can see the penetration as it's happening. To complete our outer rocker repair, we still need to weld in our jack support. The jack support is located in this square hole on the rocker cover. Once we line up the laser, I then need to put in the square tube jack support and mark the location of where it'll sit. Here you can see the square tube, and this is where I mark our welding location. With our location set, we can start welding that in. Here's a close-up of our TIG welding on this square tube. The TIG welding really gives a better penetration of the steel, and you can see the adhesion of it. Accompanied with our square tube, we need to put in a support. The support holds the frame from bending as you lift the car up or down. This is that support, as you see me self-tapping into the frame there. Just finish up some of the welding on this frame support. When you're welding in different thicknesses of metal, going from a smaller metal to a thicker metal, you really have to be careful of your amperage settings, or you could blow a hole right through the frame and your plate. Clean up some of those welds. At the bottom of the square tube support, you can see a 1/4 inch hole. That 1/4 inch hole is actually a drain hole. That comes from the factory. I did have to drill this in, so if you're installing your own, make sure you put that hole in or it will just rot out again. Let's give our repairs one last shine. And let's give our welds one last water seal. Once we put our body panel back on, this will be inaccessible. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. This was the start of the rocker panel, and this is the finish of the rocker panel. We're still far away from completing yet, but we'll see you next week. Stay tuned after the credits.